Today we're going to talk about how to plot polar coordinates again. This time we have a negative radius and a negative angle. So you'll see that I've already drawn the original plot here. So this is my polar axis. This is negative 2 pi over 3. So all I did was use my unit circle to figure out where negative 2 pi over 3 lies. And since my radius is a negative 2, that means the point is on the opposite side of the angle. So since my angle is negative 2 pi over 3 here, my point needs to lie on this opposite side. Okay, so this is negative 2 pi over 3, and we're going to use this pi over 3 fact a little bit later. And again, I just know that's pi over 3 because from this pole to where this point lies on this imaginary negative line is pi over 3. So part A here, the criteria for part A is that the radius is bigger than 0. If the radius is bigger than 0, that means it's positive, so my point P has to lie on the line. So I have my pole here in red, and my angle is going to lie in that same direction as my point. My point is going to lie in the same direction as the arrow. So since my point is here, my arrow has to go in that direction as well. Now the angle criteria is this negative 2 pi and 0. So that means I have to go from the pole and go the negative direction, so I have to go clockwise around this way to get to this line right here. So I just took negative 2 pi over 3 from my original. All I did was flip around half a circle. If you look from your original here up to this point is half a circle. So if this is negative 2 pi over 3, I had to have an extra half a circle to get there, so I subtracted another pi. So all the way around here is negative 5 pi over 3. Again, the reason I subtracted that pi is because this is where my line originally is, and I had to go an extra half a circle to get over here so that my radius could be positive. Let's do another one. For part B here, our radius has to be less than 0. So I'm going to plot point P again, which is at this point. That's always in the same spot, and this is always my pole over here. Now my radius is negative. So if my radius is negative over here, that means my arrow is still going to point over here, like in our original one. So that's still at negative 2 pi over 3. This is my pole, and there's my point with that negative radius because it's the opposite direction of my angle here. Now, the criteria for this is that my angle has to be between 0 and 2 pi. So instead of taking negative 2 pi over 3, 0 to 2 pi means I have to start here and go around positive direction, so this way, and figure out how much that angle is. You can figure that out by taking negative 2 pi over 3 and adding 2 pi to it. And then after you get a common denominator, that ends up being at 4 pi over 3. So this point is at negative 2, 4 pi over 3. Oh, and A, forgot to write down that point, is at 2, negative 5 pi over 3. Alright, so again, this one, since my radius is negative, that means that the point is going to be on the opposite side of my angle. So since my angle is over here, my point is going to be behind it, and since I need a positive angle between 0 and 2 pi, I start at 0 and go around to 2 pi over here. Alright, part C. My point, of course, is always going to be in the same spot again, so I plot my point there. My axis is right here at 0. And now, since my radius is a positive radius, that means the point is going to lie on the same line as the arrow. So my arrow needs to go along this line here. Now my angle criteria is that the angle has to be between 2 pi and 4 pi. So to be between 2 pi and 4 pi, I have to go around the circle one time and then some. So I'm going to go around this circle once, so there's my 2 pi, and then an extra rotation right here, which, from what we got at our original one again, the pi over 3, means I went around 2 pi and then extra pi over 3. So I'm going to take 2 pi over 1 plus pi over 3, and after you get a common denominator, that gives us 7 pi over 3. So this point is at 2, 7 pi over 3. And that's how you can plot the polar coordinates of a negative radius and a negative angle.